Just off Mid-Village Boulevard in North Richland Hills sits a field that brings together competition, school spirit, and community pride. This is the Birdville ISD Fine Arts/Athletics Complex, part of the Birdville Independent School District. From above, the stadium may look simple, but on game nights, it comes alive with the sounds of football, marching bands, and hometown energy. For students and families across the district, this field isn't just turf and bleachers. It's where memories are made under the Friday night lights. If you're ever driving along Mid-Cities Boulevard in North Richland Hills, there's a football field and event complex that belongs to the Birdville Independent School District that a lot of people in the area know about. I started looking into it recently, and it's one of those places that might not look flashy at first, but it plays a big role for the local schools and the community. The complex is mainly centered around the football stadium, and that's really the heart of everything there. It's not one of those giant, high-end stadiums you see in some parts of Texas, but it gets the job done. It has a straightforward layout with home and visitor bleachers and a press box. It feels like a classic high school stadium where Friday night games are the main attraction. When you pull into the parking area, you can tell this place was built to handle school events more than anything else. On game nights, the parking lots fill up with families, students, and local fans. There's usually a mix of school colors everywhere, and you can hear the band warming up before kickoff. It has that familiar small community atmosphere where people aren't just there for the game, they're there to support their school. One thing I noticed while learning about the complex is that it isn't used by just one school. Since it's part of the district, multiple high schools use the field for games and events throughout the season. That makes it more of a shared space rather than something tied to a single campus. Because of that, it stays active most of the year with football games and other school-related activities. The fine arts part of the complex is also important, even though the football field gets most of the attention. The area is used for band competitions and performances, especially during football season when marching bands take the field. If you've ever been to a game here, you know halftime is a big deal. The bands put in just as much work as the athletes, and this stadium becomes their stage too. Visually, the stadium has a simple and practical design. It's not overly decorated, and it doesn't try to look like a college or professional venue. Instead, it feels like a traditional high school facility where the focus is on the events happening on the field rather than the structure itself. The lighting is strong enough for night games, and from most seats you get a clear view of the action. Another thing that stands out is how this place brings different parts of the community together. You'll see parents, students, former graduates, and local residents all sitting in the same sections, catching up and talking between plays. It has that familiar hometown game night feeling where people know each other or at least recognize faces from past seasons. From a video perspective, especially if you're filming with a drone, the layout is easy to capture. From above, you can see the bleachers on both sides and how the complex sits right along the roadway. It's not massive, but the atmosphere and the scale is of a typical district stadium. Overall, the complex isn't about being the biggest or the most advanced. It's about function and community use. It's a place where students compete, bands perform, and families gather throughout the school year. Once you start paying attention to how often it's used and how many people pass through there for events, you realize it's an important part of the local school culture.